Schumann Stadium in Muncie, Indiana. Saturday afternoon's the perfect setting for a game like this. It's the Sacramento State Hornets and the Ball State Cardinals. Along with David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. Let's go down to Holly Rowe with the latest on the weather.
Guys, Coach Uramovich told me pregame. He knows that there's a lot of excitement for this home game, but most importantly, the weather is clear. We were wondering how the forecast would shake out, and it is calm and beautiful. Should be an impactful game here with great weather, great opportunities, and a fast surface. Back to you.
Thanks, Holly. And the Cardinals ready to put toe to leather, and here we go. On the move from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. And here's the guy they want to feed, this senior running back. Turned out more than 150 yards and found pay dirt a couple of times in their victory last game. On the move, it's Curtis. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. They give it to him again. Stopped again, and at least they made it back to the line of scrimmage this time.
Defense is about firing off, hitting the offensive guys and staying in your gaps. Everybody knowing where they're supposed to be. You could tell the defense, everyone was right where they're supposed to be, nowhere to run.
And they can't make the play on 3rd down. The punt team makes its way onto the field. Able to get the first one of the day away. They did have to send him out 3 times in that victory last week. The Cardinals offense, who will go to work for the first time in this one. The dangerous wide receiver, Jabari Smith. He's worked his way into this passing attack, and the coaches are very pleased with his progress.
It's pretty amazing when you watch this offense because they're not very talented. They're average, quite honestly, a lot of spots. Except the guy at wide receiver, David. He is elite. And today on offense, everything should go through him.
And when you've got one of those guys, you've got a chance, right? One guy that puts fear in the defense. And I love that we continue to see guys have real success at smaller levels, right? It's not just the power 4. These are guys that end up getting plucked and go to the next level. You can still be a burner and still have that great speed and route running and develop. And this guy has, and he is one of the best players on he actually is the best player on this team, and he is option number 1 for the squad.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
And good job by this defense. Great job in the secondary. Eyes on the quarterback. They took away the first option, made him go to option 2, made him go through his progression, and then they got time to get home and get a hit on the quarterback.
Under fire. He's got an open man. There he goes. Inside the touchdown, Ball State. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing. They get set for the point after as we have the first score of the game.
Speed kills this offense. They've got multiple guys that can burn you. You can see it doesn't take them long to light up the scoreboard.
On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Sacramento State's offense takes the field to get this drive underway. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. Got enough for the first. And excellent vision to find running room there and make a really good pickup before the defense put a stop to it.
And running backs are so good, so talented, so elusive. You see nowadays they really have the ability to make you miss, run you over. Unbelievable effort. Nice job. You keep that going, it'll be hard to stop.
Good pickup there. They'll move the chains, and they're set up at the 41.
Well, I think the coaches sort of got together and decided, hey, on this drive, we're going to establish the run. We're going to be more physical. First 2 plays of the drive are run plays, and both have had success. The players have gotten the message very, very clearly. We have got to come out here, and we've got to win the line of scrimmage.
Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. Couldn't get him blocked on that last one. Now it's 2nd and 14. Trying to surprise him with the pass. He misses his man. The accuracy just not what it needed to be on that play.
Yeah, just not able to connect that time with his target on the in-breaking route. Got to have a little bit better rhythm. You know these windows are going to be small over the middle of the field, and that's why you try to put some extra mustard on it, but I think that time that's what forced the incomplete.
They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. Looking for a crease. It's Curtis. He gets inside the 40 to the 39, but he is still well short of that first down marker. It'll be 4th down. Punt is in the air on 4th down. Can't hang on. He muffs it.
And that was almost a huge mistake by special teams. On the punt return, fumbling the football. They are so lucky that they jumped on that ball and that their offense is now going to take the field, because that could have been disastrous.
Pulls it on the option. Give him a pickup of 2, now 2nd and 8.
They go with the option, quarterback keeps it himself, and look, we've seen this guy on tape, guys, break these tackles and take it the distance. This offense should keep dialing up these option plays. Don't let that short gain by the QB prevent you from running this scheme in your playbook.
The run inside, it's Horton. And he was greeted by a host of defenders and barely gets it back to the line of scrimmage.
If you're going to stop the run game, you better be physical up front on the defensive line. They've got some maulers. They've got some dudes with bad intentions. Nice play there.
On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Fires deep on the run. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it. The Cardinals will try to pin them back with the punt. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. He only needs a sliver of daylight. This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return. Gets a little bit of ground for the offense. Sacramento State's offense takes the field to get this drive underway. Finding themselves down 7-0, they'd love to get a drive going here. Oh, he's got some space. Ripping off a good chunk inside the 25, and they're set up with a first down.
In most offenses, man, it's about controlling the line of scrimmage, getting the run game going. And when you got a back that's averaging over 5 yards a touch, like, I'm not great at math, guys, but every 2 touches I'm getting a first down, I'd say the offense will be in a really good position all game long.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Coleman open on the right. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground covered. Pick up the first. 3rd and 3. They'll try to get the first through the air.
And, man, I absolutely love that from this quarterback. He is not a blazer. He's not going to outrun any defensive backs on the field. But I love when you take the space that a defense gives you. They want to play a certain coverage. They want to leave up all that space open. Nice job taking off, running early in the football game, setting the tone, showing the defense that you're willing to run.
With the run on 1st and goal. He pushes it forward all the way to the 2-yard line.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. I wouldn't be surprised if they just turn around and hand it off to him again here on 2nd.
The option look. Now the toss. Touchdown, Sacramento State. Great job by the back on the option.
The best running backs are the guys that can just sniff out the end zone. That running back showed you all of his freakish ability on that play.
And he tacks on the extra point. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And finished the deal with the short touchdown run from the 2. The returner will field it and try to get some field position. Just able to get out to the 18-yard line on the return before he stopped. Time for one more before the end of the quarter. Looking to throw on first down. Fires on the move. That pass is incomplete, but this has been a period in which the offenses have shined. They fought to a standstill in the first. Let's see who gets the edge early in the second. Connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Keeping it on the ground inside. It's Horton. And he could not get loose on the run.
What a great play by the linebacker. You talk about filling a hole. Defensive line does their jobs. He comes in the hole and says, sit down, sir.
On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it. And a little more space. Open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30.
Zone coverage means everybody's looking at the quarterback. So now, when I'm a wide receiver, I got to make sure I know I fit in the hole between these zones. I know where they're dropping to, and I know where I need to get to. Great job by the wide receiver finding that hole and the quarterback throwing a strike.
I like the slot receiver because he gives his quarterback a good option working the middle of the field. He's a nice weapon in this offense.
Looking for a gap. It's Horton. Not a whole lot of progress made there on the short run.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play. And the Cardinals will call on their punt team. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Not a lot of room to make this catch. They stop him immediately, flying down the field and get to him before he can even get started. Running inside, it's Curtis. Didn't find a lot of room. Let's give him 2 out to the 20.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20 yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. They'll need to convert this third down from their own 22 to get this drive jump-started. Fires to the big fella. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down.
Man, and that's just making it way too easy on the defense. They're laughing at that short ball. They're like, really? Okay, we'll just make an easy tackle and jog our punt return team out on the field.
Hold on a minute. The offense still out there going for it in their own territory. He's got enough, and they roll the dice on fourth down, and they keep the drive alive. They'll start this one from the 29 on first down. On the ground, it's Curtis. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down. And after that run, there is a player still down on the field. This drive has been sharp. They've moved the chains a couple of times. Now 1st and 10 from the 42. Nice move to keep running.
And that's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's first down and the defense thinks you might be running the football, you still can line up. You can get some movement at the point of attack and find a little crease for your running back.
To the air on second down. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Quarterback slides, and that is a punch to the gut to any defense to let a quarterback get out and move the sticks there. They cross midfield at the 45 with a 1st and 10. The run inside. It's Curtis. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down. They won't have time to run another play, and we will take it to the 2-minute timeout. Let's see what they've got on second down. They'll go right back to it. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a first down.
Once you get in triple digits, that's a good day for a running back. That's it right there. 100 on the dot. He's had a really nice day. Showed you patience, showed you physicality, showed you a little bit of everything on his way to 100 yards.
The defense wins that one, and the offensive line was challenged by their coaching staff coming into this game to try and get push up front and establish the line of scrimmage. They're going to have to do a better job running than that if they're going to win this one.
Brought down at the 10-yard line, and a nifty pickup after the grab on that one. The Cardinals decide to use the first of their 3 timeouts. And that got under their skin a little bit, having to use the TO after giving up the first down. Last completion moved the sticks in. Let's see if they try it again. No room to run, and he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second and goal. Trying to save time on defense, they use their second timeout. They'll get together to decide how to play this second down. Operating in the red zone here on second down. Looking to fire. Trying to set up the screen. And he strides his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Sacramento State.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. I'll tell you what, keep that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
He'll bring it out. Rolling the dice to bring it out of the end zone did not work out as he stopped at the 13. The Cardinals offense headed out to go to work. They find themselves trailing by a touchdown and a chance on this drive to even the score. Corner's going to give them room. Looking to throw on first down. Fires to the wideout. Got a man. It's Thacker. He goes out of bounds just short of the 30 at the 29-yard line, and when you're backed up, execution like that at a premium.
And you see so many smart wide receivers, so many smart tight ends nowadays that they know where the holes in those zones are, and they work with their quarterback, and they find them, and they sit down in them and make big plays. It's tough to sit back in zone against such smart players nowadays.
And the defense makes a play, and they get the quarterback down at the 26. The defense uses a timeout. That's their first. They'll have 2 left to work with before the half. The Cardinals with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Handoff to the lone back. Jumped on top of the pile. Trying to save time on defense, they use their second timeout. And they'll still have 1 in their pocket for what's left in this first half.
And that's back-to-back frustrating runs for this offense, man. They've got to do a better job. The big hog mollies up front. They got to create some lanes, somewhere to go. Now this offense is backed up in a third down and long situation where they know they got to throw the football.
And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. Wanting to stop the clock on defense, they use their third and final timeout. And they won't be able to stop the clock again for the remainder of this half. They punted away on fourth down. Hauls it in, looking for space. Ripping through the defense. They'll put a stop to that return at about the 37-yard line. Sacramento State's offense takes the field to get this drive underway. They'll snap it from the 37 for the first play of this drive. Under fire. Nice job of avoiding the sack and picking up a few on the run. Offense lining up quickly. They'll go to work in the air on second down. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
And That's a really good job by this defense. Complete defensive effort. When the back end makes the quarterback hold the football a little longer than he wants to, and then the pass rush gets home, hits him, and forces the incompletion.
He slides past the first down marker, and he'll convert that 3rd and long. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Looking downfield on 1st down. Pocket breaking down. Just gets rid of the football. Nobody to throw it to. It'll be 2nd down.
A nice job by the quarterback there. You're outside the pocket. Nobody's open, so you throw the ball away knowing that you still have more chances to get this 1st down.
And with just a few seconds remaining here in the 1st half, they'll try to kick a field goal. And he's going to have to get into this football. This is a 53-yard attempt. And that is no good. And the margin remains at 7 after the miss. We've played 2 quarters here and reached halftime, and we will now check in with Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, kind of the unofficial halfway point of the season. Week 8 and another exciting update from the EA Sports Desk. We start with UCF taking on the number 4 team, the BYU Cougars. And it's BYU in real jeopardy of kissing that top 10 ranking goodbye. They're being punked right now, dominated in every aspect of the game, and we haven't even hit halftime.
He'll start the return inside his 5. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Ollie, what did you find out coming from the locker room?
Guys, I caught up with the Ball State head coach at the half. There is a big sense of urgency coming out of the locker room at the half. They know their backs are against the wall right now. All of the momentum going to their opponents as they went into the locker room. But now they get the ball back to start this 3rd quarter, and Coach said, this is our time. We have got to take back that momentum, and he believes his team can do what it takes. Back to you.
Appreciate that, Holly. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. On target to the left.
Now, I know that completion isn't a touchdown. It's not a deep play deep down the field, but how about the strong hands by that receiver making that catch? He made that look pretty routine. He had that DB draped all over him and still was able to help this offense get positive yards.
Just a short pass to the tight end. Now they're starting to feel it. They've got a 1st down at the 44.
Really, you're trailing in the game. Someone's got to make a play. There's an accurate throw by the quarterback, and when you throw it accurately like that, you give your receiver an opportunity to advance the ball. Good, strong running. He's able to break a tackle, and that's an explosive play they need now as they're trying to tie this game up.
And that run really didn't go anywhere. And a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
And look, this guy has some serious moves, and he tried all of them and still didn't get loose. From the 36, a 3rd down, and you wonder if they're willing to take 2 plays to get the 1st. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. Quick step and go. Brought down just outside the red zone. He moves the chains. It's at the 22.
And that's a good sign for this offense, maybe finishing this football game. Maybe they can get that ground game going. They've tried. They just haven't had a lot of success. Made them very one-dimensional. Nice to see them run the football with some efficiency later in this game.
Unloads to the wideout. He's open on the right.
And that's a nice job by this offense. They got to find a way to continue to string good plays together. They've had a few, but they haven't put 3, 4, 5, 6 together, putting a drive like this together. Now, let's go pay this thing off and punch it in the end zone.
They'll try to get it in with the run. They get him on the ground at the 3-yard line, but this defense is taking some punches. We'll see if the offense can punch it in on 2nd and goal. Trying to run it in. Touchdown, Cardinals! Excellent pass by the back on the option. Precision blocking up front created the open lane, and the running back followed it beautifully.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to follow an offensive line that makes those holes and just gives you a caravan all the way to the end zone. What an unbelievable job blocking up front.
And the extra point is good. So they'll decline the penalty, pleased with the results of that last play.
Number 92 sets a kickoff.
And he takes this from inside the 5. Tackled and brought down at the 23-yard line, so not a whole lot of room on that return. Keeping it on the ground inside. It's Curtis. Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 27-yard line. Solid pickup of 4 on first down. It's 2nd and 6. Back to pass. Quickly out to the tight end. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They've got it out to the 41 with a first down.
I know he's got the height and weight of a tight end, but man, the way he runs routes and how good he is with the ball in his hands, it just reminds you of a wide receiver. He's so athletic. This is a guy that has a basketball background in high school, and you see it pan out. Every time he has the football, he just looks like the best athlete on the field. For a big guy, very, very unique.
They'll have it at the 49, just across midfield, 1st and 10. On the run, it's Curtis. Surged ahead for a couple there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up.
Here's a little room there. Good execution. They move the sticks, and they've got it at the 33.
And, man, this is more of the same for this dude toting the pill. Like, they keep giving it to him, and he keeps producing. Another chunk play. Like, I don't expect that they'll change much to do with this offense because every time they give it to him, he's chewing up some yards, and good things are happening.
Nowhere to go on that one. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Well, the defense blitzed on that last run, but it was the big fella on the inside that made the stop and made the play. Great job flying out of his stance, locating where the football was, and getting to the ball carrier. Really good job at the point of attack.
Now, they missed a field goal on the last drive, but you need to get points here, so they need to pick up some yardage to at least get in range for their kicker. He's got enough. It'll be a first down. They've got it at the 12.
And it's on third downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look. Tight end, really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big fella, and they're able to hook up.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. From the red zone, it's Collins. And as they get him to the ground, clock running, looks as if time will expire here in the 3rd. And a chance to mull things over. Let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. Right around the halfway point of the season, neither of these squads that we've watched today ranked, but here's the top 25 as it stands right now. These two teams about to find out what they're made of as we open the 4th all tied up. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. On the option, he'll toss it. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
What a great job tackling that time by the quarterback. Out on an island by himself. It's just him and the pitchman one-on-one. The offense is trying to go option. They get it out to their playmaker in space. But this guy is good at covering, and he's good at tackling, and he showed it to you right there.
And these are the big decisions you have to make in a football game. How confident are you in your defense? That's all this decision comes down to. If I kick a field goal and I trust my defense, that's how this game could end. Or do I want to roll the dice because I don't believe in my defense?
And the fourth down pass falls incomplete, and they'll have to give up the football.
And the offense stays aggressive. They try to throw the football and just weren't on the same page. It was an incompletion. He could have done a better job, I think, throwing the ball to his receiver and maybe making it where it's more of a 50-50 ball where he can make a play. Defense gets the big stop.
Running inside, it's Horton. They didn't get a push at all on that one. It'll be no gain on the play.
How about the job by this defense today? They knew what they were getting into. A really good running back. We talked to him this week. It was the main focus point of this offense, stopping the run game, stopping the run game. Boy, have they showed up and showed out and answered that challenge.
Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face third down. And picking up the first down would be nice here, but also important, get some cushion for the punt team. They'll run it from the gun. Nice tackle there. This free safety coming in like a heat-seeking missile and stopping him a yard short of the first down. And the Cardinals line up to punt it away. On the move, looking for a little sliver of hope. Well, they finally stop him, but he found some running room on that return and really helps out his offense to start this drive. Sacramento State's offense takes the field to get this drive underway. These last couple of drives, Jesse, have been about the defense making clutch stand.
I think for this offense, they can stay aggressive knowing that their defense is going to bail them out time and time again here.
Yeah, and especially when you go for those fourth down situations, you do that a lot of times because you know your defense can make stands, make stops. They did on that last possession for you.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. And they'll bring him down after a short pickup.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Here's the pressure. Setting up the screen. They've got it just outside the red zone. They'll move the chains. It's at the 21. Plays like that, but just a second of hesitation in the defense to make sure, and they're able to take advantage here.
And they use great timing with this call, right? Like, you can't call this play all the time, but you want to catch them when they're a little bit aggressive, not thinking about it. Nice job slipping the screen behind them, making the easy catch, and then getting downfield, picking up some extra yards.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Quick completion to the right. The stop is made, but this offense is threatening. 1st and goal from the 9.
And those aren't the guys I'm leaving open on defense. These slot wide receivers, they've got the space in the middle of the field to work. I got to make sure that I got somebody inside of him. I got somebody outside of him. I can't give him the football because a lot of times these guys, they're good with it after the catch. They got that quickness. They got that speed, and he showed some of it there.
Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming.
And both of these defenses, man, they've been so good. They've been physical. They've been great tackling, limiting explosive plays. But it's these type of plays right here. When it's kind of a 50-50, 60-40, when the offense has to make the play, the defense has been consistently winning in this football game.
They're going to throw it on 3rd and goal. Pressure coming. Touchdown, Sacramento State. They've got the lead here in the 4th.
That play calling menu just gets so much bigger when I got a guy, Jesse, that can do this. Like, he can run the football, such a weapon. We saw it all throughout this game so far, and you see it once you get closer to that red area, man. You get that +1 advantage, having your quarterback that can be a running threat.
And the frustrating part for a defense, too, is that even when you're right, you're wrong. And we've seen on some of these runs today, guys have been in position to make a tackle, but they just can't get him down on the ground. He's got that dynamic running ability. He's a true dual threat. And right now, he's given this defense all they can handle.
Ball State gets it back. The offense headed to the field. Here's the conundrum for the defensive coordinator. Do you stay aggressive or do you protect and play a little more conservatively with the lead and just a few minutes left? Followed that blocking and got 5 out to the 26.
Man, it's nice when you can depend on your big boys up front to make a lane, and you get 5 or 6 yards. You get 5 or 6 yards a pop. You move the ball down the field easily, and more importantly, can get this defense to be more aggressive, to bring DBs close to the line of scrimmage, and then that might open up some big plays down the field.
Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. The defense will try to hold up one more time. Under 2 minutes to go. On third down, he drops to throw. Makes the grab. Breaks into the open. Gets it to the 46-yard line. First down for this offense. The Cardinals decide to use the first of their 3 timeouts. And they'll still have 2 timeouts left for the rest of this game. The Cardinals come to the line with a new set of downs. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down.
And a lot of times football, man, it's just about confidence and feeling good and getting in a rhythm. That's not what this offense has done all day. And now in a moment where you need it, you got to put it together. Where do they go? Like, who is their go-to guy? What is their go-to play? They've struggled all day, but you can erase all of that with one drive right here.
Throws to the wideout. Wide open downfield. On a run to the right. Touchdown, Cardinals. Once he got a step, it was all over right to the house. The Cardinals with the counterpunch.
That is how it's done. In the clutch, in the big time, your offense comes up with the big drive, puts points on the board. Now you tell your kicker, go knock this PAT through, take the lead. Nice execution by this offense.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. He'll be brought down at the 22-yard line. Good coverage on that one. His return is stopped short of the 25. First play of the drive comes from the 22. They'll give him 4 on the pickup at 2nd and 6.
All right, you're at a point in the game now where you've got to go. You need to get down the field and score points. I'm all for running the football, but in this part of the field, you now got to start kicking it into overdrive, start taking some shots and gaining up some yards.
You got to keep drives alive late in the game. When you're starting to get in the 4th quarter and it's a 1-score game, you got to do whatever you can as that quarterback to scramble around, get extra plays, extra first downs. Really nice job there by the QB.
Good hands in there by the defense to force the incompletion.
And I like it. Very smart defense, understanding the clock, understanding they're going to try to push the ball down the field. Great job playing deep, breaking on the football, making sure that receiver doesn't catch it. Smart IQ defense.
And with that last play call on 2nd down, I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get in position to kick a game-winning field goal with no time left on the clock. This is a critical 3rd down, though, and if you get this, you can keep bleeding the clock to put yourself in that position.
He'll try to do it himself. And they'll move the chains and get it to the 47-yard line. Now, the offense wants to make sure everything's straightened out, and they call their first timeout. And they'll still have 2 timeouts left for the rest of this game. The offense will put it in play from the 47 on 1st and 10. Immediately fires to the middle.
Well, I know it's early in the drive, and you're just trying to get completions and get the drive going, but this is 2 minutes, and you're trailing. I mean, you've got to take some shots down the field and be a little bit more aggressive, put some pressure on this defense.
Bring in the heat. They make the stop, but what a job on the scramble to get loose and pick up that first down. The offense uses a timeout. 15 seconds left to play. They'll put it in play from the 40 on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Fires it beautifully in on the crosser. They get the timeout called. 11 seconds remaining to play. Here comes the field goal unit as they'll try to get the 3. This almost certainly to win the game. The defense uses a timeout, and we are down to 11 seconds left to play. And they'll have to settle for a field goal try. And this to put them on top as we get close to closing time. The field goal is no good. After the miss here in the fourth quarter, still deadlocked.
Well, that's now the second missed field goal for him, and this one hurts because if he makes that, obviously his team takes the lead.
They'll christen this drive from the 28-yard line. The run inside. It's Horton. Slips a tackle, and he's got room. Still on his feet. Knocked out of bounds at the 46 after the good pickup on that one. All right, guys, so here we go in overtime, and just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possession starting on the opponent's 25.
And it's so nice to be on defense first, to set the tone, to understand what you need. Try to hold them to a field goal. The offense knows they can do their job to go out and get a win. Just 2 possessions, Palmer, like you got to be at your best.
Yeah, and I love the new rules, too, because in the third overtime possession, it goes to alternating 2-point plays, back and forth. Who's got anything left in the tank here in OT?
First play of the first possession of OT. Hands it off. Got it into the red zone, dragged down at the 18-yard line.
Man, you played the whole game. Now it's coming down to what? A couple of plays. It's in overtime. You're starting to move the ball closer to the opponent's end zone. Got to make a play. Got to protect the football. What's your go-to play after what?
Got some room, headed to the goal line. Touchdown, Cardinals. They get on the board first here in the overtime period.
And the running back gets his second rushing touchdown of the game. You want to continue to feed this guy. You can tell he's got a nose for the end zone, knows how to get in there, knows how to make things happen.
And the extra point splits the uprisers. They know what's in front of them. They have to answer that score with a touchdown. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Second down, they'll go to the air. Got away from trouble and got rid of it. Makes the grab. He'll be stopped, but not before. He carries it down to the 9-yard line, and that's why you get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. First and goal in overtime, and they have to answer with a touchdown. He'll toss it. And that might have been a bad read as the defense just swarms all over the pitch man.
And I think that time the quarterback made the wrong read. He was trying to pitch it. He didn't have to, though. There was a lot of green grass and space out in front of him. If he just holds onto that football, he might not score a touchdown, but he's definitely going to be able to at least get positive yards. I think that's a play on the option the quarterback would like to have back.
Stopped at the 13-yard line as they try to turn this into points.
And because of the success that this quarterback has had early in this game running the football, if I'm the coordinator calling plays, I'm dialing up his number more. Design runs, and also telling him on the sidelines, hey, listen, remember, if it's not open, take off. Just go get it yourself. They don't have...
Touchdown, Sacramento State. They got the score now to see if they go for the win or the tie.
Well, I love the decision-making by the quarterback, going to his go-to receiver in that situation of the game, but defense, come on. You got to know that's the guy the QB's looking for.
And the kick is good, but there is a penalty flag because he paid for making that kick. I think they're going to get him for roughing the kicker.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
This offense plenty happy enough with the result of that play, so they just let the official put that flag back in his pocket and decline the penalty. Offense set on first down. Wants to pass. Oh, they're after him. Knocked down after a pickup of maybe two, and man, that pursuit, they had their hair on fire. What will they dial up on second, and a long way to go. Caught in the backfield, it's Burrell. And the spin move bought him a little time, just not a lot of yardage. Just a couple they need to pick up here on third and short in overtime. Quick release on the RPO. They'll make the stop about a yard short of the first down. Just not able to shake enough defenders and comes up a little bit short.
And I think a lot of times on third down, Reese, you bet on your guy. When you're an offensive guy, you say, okay, he's going to break a tackle, he's going to get north and south and somehow get the first down. Nice tackling by the defense, understanding where they had to get to and forcing the fourth down.
It's over. Now the play fake. Here comes the heat. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Gets out of bounds after the big game, but they've got it first and goal. DB's locked up tight on the receivers. Run in the red zone. It's Horton. Relentless, tough running gets it down to the 4. Defense going to use a timeout here to make sure everyone is crystal clear on their assignment here in overtime. They've pushed it ahead to the 4. They'll try to cash in on 2nd and goal. Tries again to get it in. A game winner. What a finish in double overtime. He has spent a lot of time in that end zone today.